Hi guys, in this video we're going to have a look at finding the exact values or exact trig values. So the common ones that you need to know are when it's sine is 0 or sine 30 or sine 45, sine 60, sine 90, and the same for cos and the same for tan. So obviously if you have a calculator it's nice and easy. So for example, if I wanted sine 45, I can just press sine 45 and it tells me it's root 2 over 2. So nice and easy if you have a calculator. However, what you need to be able to do is know them for the non-calculator paper, where you might be asked something like the three examples that I've got here. So to do that, I need to know what cos 30 is, tan 60, sine 60, tan 30, and so on and so forth. Now obviously you can commit them to memory. There's also another way you can do it where actually you use triangles to actually work them out. However, last year I saw this method and I think actually it's the easiest and probably the quickest way of working these out, okay, which is what I'm about to show you now. So if you're in the exam and you need to work these out, draw yourself a table where you've got the angles here, 0, 30, 45, 60 and 90 with sine, cos or tan, and then you can then fill it in the following way. So the first thing you need to do is quite simply, in the sine column, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, that's the first step. The next step is to divide all of them by 4, like so, and then square root everything. Like so. Okay, once you've done that, you need to simplify it. Well, obviously 0 divided by 4 is going to be 0, and then the square root of 0 is 0, so that's not a problem. The next one here, the square root of 1 is going to be 1, and the square root of 4 is 2, so that's a half, which we did on the calculator a minute ago as well. Okay, so when I'm square rooting a quarter, I do the square root of 1 and the square root of 4, and obviously in this case I get 1 and 2. In this case, I need to do the square root of 2. Well, that's not a nice number, so I'm going to leave it as the square root of 2. And the bottom, the square root of 4 is 2, so I get root 2 over 2. No, sorry, that was when we did the calculator, wasn't it? Next one then, root 3. Well, that isn't very nice, so let's leave it as root 3. And again, square root of 4 is 2. And the last one here, 4 over 4 is 1. So actually inside the square root actually simplifies. So 4 over 4 is 1, square root of 1 is 1. So that's how you can find out the values for all the sine. And once you've got that, it's really easy to find cos, because you just reverse the direction. So if 1 was down here, I then put a 1 there. That's root 3 over 2. So this is root 3 over 2. It's just exactly the opposite. Obviously that's going to be the same. And then a half down here. And then 0. Okay, so once you've got sine, just reverse it and do the cos as well. Once you've got that, to work out tan, all you need to do is sine x divided by cos x. Okay, so to do that, well, 0 divided by 1, well, that's going to be 0. A half divided by root 3 over 2. So this time we're dividing fractions, so you need to remember how to divide fractions, which is KFC. If you can't remember what that stands for, can't remember how to do that or what it stands for or anything like that, make sure you check out my video on dividing fractions. But essentially we use KFC, so I keep the first fraction the same. I flip the second one, so that'll be 2 over root 3, and I change the divide to a times. So now I can just times the fractions, and again, if you're not sure how to times fractions, check out my multiplying fractions video. But all we do is times the top, which is going to be 1 times 2 is 2, and then 2 times root 3 is just 2 root 3. Bit of simplifying, but if I'm timesing the 2 at the top and dividing, I can cancel them out. So that leaves me with 1 over root 3. And then if you wanted to rationalize the denominator, that could also be written, I'll write it out here, as root 3 over 3. So there's 2 different ways you can write that. Okay, 1 over root 3 or root 3 over 3. Either one, absolutely fine. But as I say, we usually tend to rationalize the denominator to make the denominator, in this case 3, so it's easier to work with. Let's carry on. So keep the first one the same. Flip the second one. Change the divide to a times. So 2 root 2 divided by 2 root 2. And as you probably guessed, if you do 2 root 2 divided by 2 root 2, if you divide it by itself, it's going to give me the value of 1. And this one here, keep the first one the same, flip the second one, change the divide to a times, so 2 root 3 over 2, just as we did over here. I can cancel the 2's out, so that's just going to give me root 3. And then finally 1 divided by 0, you can't do it, you can't see how many times 0 goes into 1, doesn't work, and therefore we call this undefined. Because that you can't actually do. And if you see the tan graph, when it hits tan 90, you'll see that it just goes off into infinity as well. So that's why it's called undefined. So that's how you can work out all of your values. So I'll say again, so you write 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, then divide everything by 4, square root everything, simplify it. To find cos, you just reverse it, so go the other direction. And to find tan, we just do the value of sine x divided by the cosine x using the KFC. So here I have all my values. Now I can start to work out these examples here. So if I've got 12 cos 30, I can look at my cos 30 and see that cos 30 is root 3 over 2. So I need to do 12 times root 3 over 2. Then I'm going to take away 2 times tan 60. So tan 60 we worked out to be root 3. So a little bit of simplifying. So 12 times root 3 over 2 is just going to give me 12 root 3 over 2. And obviously then 2 times root 3 is just 2 root 3. Well, if I've got 12 and I'm dividing by 2, that's just going to simplify to be 6 root 3. Take away 2 root 3. And because the surds here, root 3 and root 3 are the same, I can subtract the number in front. So 6 take away 2 is 4 root 3. So in this case, A would be 4 and B would be 3. Same idea with this one, so it's slightly different. So I've got 4 times sine 60. So sine 60 is root 3 over 2. And I'm going to add that to tan 30. So tan 30 is root 3 over 3. Now, a bit of simplifying. I'm going to times them together. So 4 root 3 over 2 plus root 3 over 3. Now, you could obviously simplify that, but if I want to add these, because they're fractions, I can only add it if the denominator is the same. So I'm going to make the denominator the same. So what number is in the 2 times table and the 3 times table? Well, hopefully you could spot it 6. What do I do to 2 to get to 6? Well, I times it by 3, so I'm going to times the top by 3, so I have 12 root 3. And then what do I do to 3 to get to 6? I times it by 2, so I'm going to do the same thing here, 2 times root 3, 2 root 3. Now my denominators are the same, I can just add the numerators, so 12 root 3 plus 2 root 3, again, because they're both root 3, I can just add them to get 14 root 3 over 6. Now, if you could have simplified that, obviously you can, but 14 divided by 6 isn't very nice, so I'm just going to leave it like that. And the final example I've got here for you is sine 60 times tan 30 plus cos 60. So if you get something like this, you must remember BIDMAS. So I'm going to do my multiplication first, then I'm going to do my addition. So let's find this out. So sine 60 is root 3 over 2 times tan 30, which is root 3 over 3. And I'm going to add that to cos 60, which is a half. So remember, BIDMAS, I'm going to do the multiplication first. So times and fractions, easy, times the top, times the bottom. So root 3 times root 3 will just be 3. Check out my surds video if that doesn't make sense. 2 times 3 is 6. Then I'm going to add 1/2. Okay? You simplify this, make it a little bit nicer. So that's going to be 1/2 plus 1/2, and therefore you get the answer of 1. Okay, so it's just a method to how you can find the exact trig values and then how you can use them in certain calculations. Hopefully that helps, guys. Cheers.